The saying goes that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That comes up in our Water and Spirit Lenten devotional. But let me tell you a story. In my other congregation, Audrey Sager was one of the saints of that congregation, now of blessed memory. When Audrey Sager was 89 years old, 89, she was the secretary of the church council. And she typed up minutes and attached the minutes as an attachment to emails. And after I left, I learned that when she could no longer drive, she got herself an iPhone so she could schedule Uber to pick her up and take her around. Audrey Sager was an amazing woman who learned new things as she got older. The other thing about Audrey was I think she was more active in the church in her 80s than she had been her whole life. She liked what we were doing. She caught the vision of the ministry. She made a large donation to the congregation. Audrey was living in water and spirit, had a sense of Christ alive in her. On one of the Wednesday night Bible studies, I had each person write their own psalm. Let me tell you, Audrey's was perhaps the most powerful and beautiful. Maybe she could reflect on a long life, and she could reflect on how God was at work in her life. I don't think Christians should use, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I think being born of water and spirit Christians, we are always alive. We are always doing new things. It may not be that we can do the things we used to do when we were young. We are older. We get older, things do diminish. There are things we cannot do. But water and spirit Christians are always alive in the spirit to see what is next, to see what God is doing next. And even as we approach our deaths, even when we die, we can still be excited about what is happening next because God is always in our tomorrows and God is in our deaths with the promise of baptism that we are joined to Christ forever. And even when we die, we can be sustained in the promise that what lies next is our continued eternal life with Christ. And so, friend, old dogs out there, learn a new trick today. Learn what the Spirit is teaching you today. Learn how the Spirit is guiding you today. Be blessed.